As-salamu Alaikum, dear viewers. Today, we're going to discuss a topic that every believer should understand. When big risk is blocked, Allah sends 7 clear warnings and signs. We all strive for success, blessings, and financial stability. Yet sometimes, despite our hard work and sincere dua, risk doesn't flow as we hope. Have you ever wondered why opportunities keep delaying? Or why your efforts don't yield the results you expect? These are not mere coincidences. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, often sends gentle warnings to guide us back onto the right path. Recognizing these signs can help us realign our actions, purify our intentions, and strengthen our trust in Him. In today's video, we will explore 7 clear signs that your risk may be blocked and how you can respond to open the doors to abundant blessings. 1. Delays in opportunities. One of the first signs that big risk may be blocked is experiencing frequent delays in opportunities. Despite planning carefully, putting in effort, and trusting in your abilities, things that should progress smoothly often face repeated setbacks. A job application may be delayed, a business deal postponed, or a project stalled without clear reasons. This can feel frustrating, especially when you are working diligently and have fulfilled your responsibilities. These delays are not necessarily a punishment, but rather a signal from Allah to pause and reflect. Sometimes, our intentions, reliance on worldly efforts, or even minor neglect of spiritual duties can create obstacles that block the flow of rizq. The delays act as a reminder to seek guidance through prayer, make sincere dua, and ensure that our efforts are aligned with halal and ethical means. By observing these pauses in opportunities, believers are encouraged to maintain patience, trust Allah's timing, and assess whether there are areas in their lives, such as gratitude, honesty, or consistency in worship, that need correction. Recognizing delays as a sign, rather than a setback, allows one to turn challenges into lessons and prepare for greater risk when the barriers are removed. 2. Financial difficulties. Another clear sign that big risk may be blocked is experiencing unexpected financial difficulties. This goes beyond ordinary challenges or temporary shortages. It can manifest as sudden debts, unexplained losses, or an inability to meet essential needs despite consistent effort. You may find that your income never seems to stretch, opportunities for earnings remain limited, or your savings diminish without clear reasons. Such struggles can feel discouraging, but they often carry a deeper spiritual message. These financial hardships serve as a reminder from Allah to examine the sources and purity of your earnings. Risk is a blessing that comes with accountability, and sometimes difficulties arise when one's income involves doubtful or impermissible means, neglect of zakat, or a lack of gratitude. Allah uses these challenges to guide believers toward reflection, ethical conduct, and trust in His provision. During times of financial strain, patience and sincerity in worship become crucial. Making consistent dua, giving charity even in small amounts, and being honest in all financial dealings can gradually remove obstacles and open the door for abundant risk. Recognizing financial hardships as signals rather than mere misfortune helps believers strengthen their faith and align their actions with Allah's guidance. 3. Spiritual distance. A third sign that big risk may be blocked is experiencing a spiritual distance from Allah. This feeling goes beyond occasional distractions. It manifests as a persistent lack of connection, reduced motivation for prayers, or a sense that worship feels empty or burdensome. You may find yourself neglecting daily acts of devotion, avoiding dhikr, or feeling that your dua is unanswered. This spiritual disconnect can create an internal barrier, making it difficult for blessings to flow smoothly into your life. Spiritual distance often signals that a believer needs to realign priorities and purify their heart. Allah grants rizq in abundance to those whose hearts are connected to Him, filled with gratitude and guided by sincerity. Neglecting salah, harboring grudges, or becoming overly attached to worldly pursuits can subtly close the doors to sustenance. Recognizing this sign is an opportunity for self-reflection and correction. Re-establishing regular prayers, reading Quran consistently, engaging in dhikr, and seeking forgiveness can help restore spiritual closeness. When the heart returns to Allah with humility and sincerity, not only does inner peace increase, but the barriers preventing rizq begin to dissolve, allowing sustenance and blessings to flow more freely into your life. 4. Inner restlessness. Another important sign that big rizq may be blocked is experiencing inner restlessness. This is more than ordinary stress or occasional worry. It manifests as constant unease, anxiety, or a feeling of dissatisfaction, regardless of one's circumstances. You may notice that even after achieving small successes or acquiring what you need, a sense of emptiness or frustration persists. This internal turmoil often signals that something is out of balance in your life, and Allah is trying to guide you toward reflection and realignment. Inner restlessness can indicate that a believer is overly attached to worldly desires, relying solely on personal efforts rather than trusting in Allah's plan. It may also reflect unresolved mistakes, hidden sins, or negligence in spiritual duties that create subtle barriers to rizq. Addressing this sign requires patience, introspection, and sincere dua. By evaluating your priorities, seeking forgiveness, and strengthening reliance on Allah, you can calm the heart and restore peace. Engaging in consistent worship, acts of charity, and mindfulness in daily life not only alleviates restlessness, but also opens the path for blessings and sustenance to flow more easily. Recognizing inner unrest as a warning allows believers to transform discomfort into spiritual growth and preparation for greater rizq. 5. Repeated mistakes. A sign that big rizq may be blocked is the repetition of the same mistakes in life. These are not occasional errors, but recurring patterns in decisions, actions, or behavior that lead to setbacks. Even after experiencing consequences, the same issues continue to arise, indicating that deeper reflection and correction are needed. This repetition serves as a reminder from Allah to examine intentions, habits, and approaches. It may signal negligence, overconfidence, or reliance solely on personal understanding, rather than seeking guidance from Allah. Persisting in these errors can create spiritual and practical barriers, preventing the flow of rizq. To overcome this, believers should pause, reflect, and seek to understand the root causes of these repeated mistakes. Engaging in sincere dua, learning from past experiences, and making conscious adjustments in behavior helps break the cycle. When mistakes are corrected, doors to rizq open, allowing blessings to flow more freely and sustainably. 6. Jealousy or envy from others. Another sign that big rizq may be blocked is noticing increased jealousy or envy from people around you. This goes beyond casual envy and shows as subtle hostility, negative remarks, or attempts to undermine your achievements. Such reactions can create unseen obstacles in your path, affecting your progress and opportunities. In Islam, envy, hasad, is taken seriously because it can impact both the envious person and the one who is envied, especially if the latter is not maintaining gratitude and humility. Experiencing envy reminds believers to remain humble, keep intentions sincere, and avoid arrogance. To protect your rizq, continue performing good deeds with purity and integrity. Seek Allah's protection through dua and maintain gratitude for your blessings. Acts of charity, sincere worship, and avoiding retaliation help neutralize negative effects. By recognizing envy as a sign, believers can stay spiritually vigilant and ensure that Allah's blessings continue to flow. 7. Lack of blessings in efforts. Another sign that big rizq may be blocked is when your efforts seem to produce little or no lasting results. Despite working hard, planning carefully, and dedicating time and energy, projects may fail unexpectedly, income may stagnate, or personal endeavors may not bring the satisfaction or growth you hoped for. This lack of barakah or blessing indicates that something in your approach or intentions may need correction. Allah often allows such experiences to remind believers to evaluate their sincerity, intentions, and reliance on Him. Even lawful and honest work can remain unfruitful if it is pursued solely for worldly gain, without gratitude, ethical conduct, or remembrance of Allah. To address this, strengthen your connection with Allah through consistent prayer, ethical practices, charity, and gratitude. When your efforts are infused with sincerity and spiritual mindfulness, Allah blesses them, turning ordinary work into fruitful rizq and long-lasting success. Alhamdulillah, we've explored the 7 clear signs that Allah may send when big rizq is blocked. By recognizing these warnings, reflecting on our actions, and strengthening our connection with Allah, we can remove barriers and invite abundant blessings into our lives. Always remember, patience, sincerity, and gratitude are keys to unlocking rizq. If this video benefited you, please share it, subscribe to Purpose Deen, and leave a comment with your positive prayer for rizq. May Allah open doors of sustenance, barakah, and ease for all of us. Ameen.